Let's move on to what's after Chelsea.
Liverpool, mate.
Liverpool. So go over. All right. Liverpool, obviously, both of our squad. We are both Liverpool fans, just for
Clear homers.
clear homers for
Exactly.
anything else. But we obviously look at the signings. Darwin Nunez being the big one, 75 mil. Carvalho 5. And again, I guess it changed maybe it's euros now. It changed to euros. Got Ramsey, bunch of other signings as well. Sadio Mane being the big leave. Neco Williams selling for 20 mil. Takumi Minamino, RIP. 15 mil. Divock, legend, leaving. And Gruwich for 9 mil. So Liverpool, how are you feeling about the squad? We've talked a lot on text. How do you feel to the fans? How are you feeling about Liverpool this offseason?
I think that initially, after watching a couple of preseason games, and preseason games don't mean a lot. It's more like for fitness and a barometer of how that's going to go for you. But
yeah,
I think that with the way that preseason started, I feel like there's maybe a little bit more concern about how easily things are going to flow together, especially with Mane leaving and how important he was going to be for us. But I got to say, I think especially after that Community Shield win against Manchester City, and I feel like especially how like Nunez looked in his 30-minute cameo sub appearance after that. Oh geez, cars going crazy out there. I think that I'm really excited to see how this team is going to move going forward, because I was actually talking about it a little bit before, where I think with Mane, we played a lot through him. So he was available, like, get the ball up and build up, and then he would be able to create chances, whether that's for Salah or whoever else up front, Bobby or Jota or whatnot. Whereas I think that Nunez coming in is definitely going to be we're going to be playing to him. So a lot of crosses into the box, a lot of target play into his feet, letting him lay off for Salah or Diaz, whoever it is. I think he's just going to be like the next evolution of what I think Klopp wants, especially with I feel like we've talked about this good amount as well, is where we crossed so much for a team that didn't really have that aerial threat in the box.
Yeah.
Whereas Bobby and Mane would occasionally chip in with header goals, and they were pretty good. But I think Nunez is going to be like a different beast when it comes to scoring goals in the box and being that real poacher that we've been lacking for and people have been crying out for. So I think especially with Carvalho, Harvey Elliott, Diaz, Jota, I think attacking wise, we will be more than okay replacing Mane. And I do agree that Mane will be a loss, but I think that we have so many key pieces now, and that our squad is honestly more versatile than it's been for, I feel like, the past couple seasons. With Carvalho could play an 8, Harvey Elliott could play an 8, Diaz could play both wings, Jota could play up front or on a wing, Bobby could even drop into, like, if we play 4-2-3-1, he could play Cam. Same with Carvalho, he could play Cam. So I just think that there's a lot of positivity, I think, going for this Liverpool team, especially into this season, especially after that Community Shield win.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you. I think this reminds me of a team that lost out on first place a couple years back, and they came back stronger than ever. It kind of gives me that vibe again of they're ready to go this season. They're ready to take it by the horn, and I saw it in the Community Shield. Again, a team that wants it. You know, we can obviously say that Man City played like it was a preseason game, but you know, that's the mentality that you have to take sometimes as a team. Like, you have to think, okay, is this going to be a season where I'm just going to be flat-footed? I'm not really going to be strong. I'm just going to kind of go through the motions, or are you going to take it serious throughout the whole season? And that's something I think Liverpool is ready for, right? Luis Diaz obviously being a huge addition from last winter, coming into this season, now going to have a full year under his belt. Once the winter time comes around, I think he's going to do an amazing job for us, kind of replacing that creativity that Mane had. And obviously, Mane was more of the goal scorer last season, but to have two of those, but have Salah on one side, Diaz on the other side, and then, when he's comfortable, Nunez scoring the goals. But I think the biggest addition for me, and the one I'm most curious about first team football wise, is Carvalho. I think Carvalho could potentially be, a first team starter continuously. Maybe that's just me being very optimistic for a 19-year-old.
I like it.
But I like his ability to, again, do something that we haven't had since Coutinho, which is kind of that creative in the midfield, create chances there. Thiago definitely helps in that sense. But, for Thiago's health injuries, it concerns me that there'll be times where he might not be there. And so I think that you get Thiago playing, you do all this stuff, and I'm excited for Liverpool's future. We'll talk about it when we do our preseason predictions, 1-8 or 1-7, however many we do. But again, I think this team is ready to battle, and I think that this team, has all the right pieces, even to win maybe the treble.
I think before I touch on Carvalho, I also want to say that I think that getting the monkey off of our back with winning the 2 domestic trophies, that's something that people, especially before last season, Klopp really had only won the Premier League and the Champions League, and then the Club World Cup. Yeah. And so I think that people were saying, "Oh, this Liverpool team." I think Jay McCarricker was one of the people saying that like this Liverpool team should definitely have more trophies under their belt if they want to be remembered as one of the really great Premier League teams. And so I think finally winning both the FA Cup and the Carabao Cup, I think will allow them to really push forward in these other the Prem or the Champions League in both those competitions, where not necessarily having to feel like if we don't win either of these 2 trophies in the years to come, then we might have been a failure. Not necessarily a failure, but we could have won more than we should. And so I feel like winning those 2 trophies is going to spur this team on to be better. And that's something I think Klopp's instilled with his mentality and how he coaches the team, especially with Pep Linders as his 2. Yeah. All their trainings are super intense, and they want to win everything they can. And so I think that definitely they're in a position to do that this season.
Yeah, I mean, and then the other question I had too for you was just, Trent Alexander-Arnold. I think you pointed out to me, especially during text, was there's some games where he's kind of moving into the midfield a little bit more. Do you see that kind of in his future as just someone that moves into the midfield at some point?
I kind of think that, kind of like I talked about before with Zinchenko and Arsenal, and maybe a little bit into the future I'll talk about with Malacia at Man United. I feel like there's a really good evolution where the outside fullbacks step up into the midfield and be able to create and like help with ball retention and being able to keep and press. And so I think that while I don't necessarily think that Trent will have his future be in midfield, because I think Klopp has probably other plans that he may want to work for, maybe Jude Bellingham, I don't know. But I think that we could see more of him stepping into midfield positionally to help rotate the play and create chances. But I don't necessarily think that him as a center mid is really going to be the future for him. Although I think he could do it. I just think that if you have one of the best right backs in the world, I feel like keeping him there makes a lot of sense. Although saying that, since we did sign Calvin Ramsey, I can't remember who was talking about it, but there may be times where if Salah wants to play forward and we're rotating players, that maybe Calvin Ramsey comes and plays right back, and then you move Trent up to right wing, and then you have that type of overlapping outside back with Calvin Ramsey who can attack and use both feet, and then you have Trent up higher up the field to create chances of whipping crosses. So I think there's a lot of potential with Trent to play multiple positions, but I think that he's probably secured at right back for the foreseeable future.
Okay, and Liverpool fans, let us know what you think about Liverpool this coming season. Do you think that they're number 1, or do you think that they'll fall short yet again this season? Again, I'm excited to see the evolution of Liverpool. It continues, and we'll continue to monitor what they do in the future.